Ngozi, Orabueze, Biafra. Deputy Prime Minister gives updates on latest development. As Biafra Prime Minister Simon Ekpa present Nigerian government atrocities to the world. Simon Ekpa has documented and presented human rights abuses by the Nigerian state to international bodies such as Amnesty International, the United Nations, and the European Union. Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa are detained for advocating for Biafran self-determination, with Simon Ekpa held in Finland since November 2024 under alleged pressure from Nigeria. The Nigerian government is accused of secret wars against Biafrans, including killings, property destruction, and unlawful arrests without trial. While the government rehabilitates and reintegrates Boko Haram fighters, it labels Biafran activists as terrorists and finances their persecution. Nigeria is accused of looting Biafra's natural resources, particularly crude oil, while neglecting basic infrastructure such as clean water, transportation, and healthcare in Biafran territories. A self-referendum was held on November 29, 2024, where 50 million Biafrans allegedly voted to exit Nigeria, declaring the United States of Biafra as a sovereign nation. Biafran leaders have sent formal notifications to various embassies and international organizations demanding recognition and the withdrawal of Nigerian military forces. The proposed Biafran government will operate as a confederacy, giving autonomy to its 40 states, while maintaining a centralized defense and leadership structure. A Biafran headquarters in Washington, D.C. will open on May 30, 2025, alongside a peace summit and a remembrance event for Biafran heroes. Biafrans are urged to remain steadfast against government-backed infiltrators attempting to disrupt their independence movement. I have read a detailed news report that describes a highly charged situation involving the struggle for self-determination in the region known as Biafra. In this report, Ngozi Orabueze, who serves as the Deputy Prime Minister of Biafra, provides an update on the latest developments. She explains that Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of Biafra, has been actively presenting the human rights abuses and atrocities allegedly committed by the Nigerian government to international organizations and global audiences. As I read through the report, I felt a mix of concern and curiosity about the events that have unfolded over the past months. According to the report, Simon Ekpa has taken on a vital role in documenting and publicizing what he claims to be extensive human rights violations committed by the Nigerian state. These abuses have been reported to major international bodies, including Amnesty International, the United Nations, and the European Union. The report goes into considerable detail about the nature of these alleged violations, describing secret operations carried out by the Nigerian government that have resulted in unlawful killings, property destruction, and mass arrests without any form of judicial process. In a personal reflection, I could not help but think about the suffering of ordinary people who have been caught in the crossfire of what is described as a secret war waged by a state that is meant to protect its citizens. One of the most striking aspects of the report is the mention of the detainment of key Biafran leaders. Both Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa have been detained for their roles in advocating for Biafran self-determination. The report states that Simon Ekpa has been held in Finland since November 2024, which is presented as being the result of external pressure from the Nigerian government. The fact that a leader who is actively bringing international attention to these issues is being detained in a foreign country adds another layer of complexity to the story. It makes the reader wonder about the international dimensions of the conflict and the ways in which political pressures extend beyond national borders. The Nigerian government is accused in the report of conducting secret wars against the Biafran people. These accusations are serious and include claims that the government is not only using its military power to enforce its will, but is also systematically targeting Biafran activists by labeling them as terrorists. In what appears to be a stark contrast, the Nigerian authorities are reported to have programs in place that rehabilitate and reintegrate former Boko Haram fighters into their military, police and security forces. This stark difference in treatment between those they deem to be criminals and the activists fighting for self-determination creates a deeply polarizing narrative that raises questions about the fairness and transparency of the Nigerian government's actions. The report also details the economic dimensions of the conflict, particularly focusing on the alleged exploitation of Biafra's natural resources. It is claimed that the Nigerian government has been systematically looting the region's crude oil reserves, while simultaneously neglecting the provision of essential services to the people of Biafra. Basic infrastructure, such as clean water, reliable transportation, and adequate health care, is said to be in short supply in Biafran territories. The stark image of a region rich in natural resources, but deprived of the most basic human necessities, adds to the sense of injustice that pervades the report. It also prompts the reader to reflect on the broader issues of resource control and economic exploitation that often underlie ethnic and regional conflicts. Another significant part of the news report is the mention of a self-referendum that took place on November 29, 2024. According to the report, an overwhelming number of approximately 50 million Biafrans participated in a vote to exit Nigeria, leading to the declaration of the United States of Biafra as a sovereign nation. This referendum is portrayed as a pivotal moment in the movement for independence, symbolizing the collective desire of the Biafran people to establish their own identity and governance separate from Nigeria. The report explains that Biafran leaders have sent formal notifications to various embassies and international organizations, urging them to recognize the new entity and to demand that Nigerian military forces withdraw from Biafran territories. The proposed government of the United States of Biafra is envisioned as a confederate state, where autonomy is granted to each of its 40 states, while a centralized defense and leadership structure is maintained. This vision, as laid out in the report, suggests an attempt to combine regional independence with national cohesion, ensuring that while each state can manage its internal affairs, there is still a unified approach to defense and overall governance. There is even mention of an official Biafran headquarters that is set to open in Washington, District of Columbia on May 30th, 2025. This headquarters is expected to serve multiple purposes, including being the site for a peace summit and a remembrance event dedicated to Biafran heroes. The idea of having a headquarters in a major international capital underscores the ambition of the Biafran leadership to secure global recognition and support for their cause. Throughout the report, there is an emotional undercurrent that resonates with anyone who values freedom and self-determination. The language used by both Ngozi Orabueze and Seaman Ekpa reflects a deep commitment to the cause of Biafran independence.
And is still being held today by the Nigeria state because he was fighting for the freedom of Biafrans. Because he wanted us to live in a nation, in a country where you are not being judged by your tribe, by your religion. You don't get position by your religion, by your tribe, or who you know. He's held today because he wants us to exist in a nation where You do not have reintegrated terrorists being hired into the military and police and security forces, and they are being sent out with AK-47 to kill those who do not align with the belief of the government in power. That is what our leader Nnamdi Kanu was fighting for. And that is why he is being held today by President Tinubu of Nigeria. We remember our leader today. We thank you. We thank you, our leader Nnamdi Kanu, for what you do. We thank you for your resilience. Because of what you do and where you are today, we are doing what we are going to be doing today and what we will continue to do every single day until that dream is finally realized, that Biafra is a free, sovereign nation that aspires to be one of the best countries in Africa and in the world. Be strong. Do not be moved. Do not let them break you. Do not let them shake you. They may break you physically. They may starve you. They may torture you. But be rest assured that what is going to happen this year will make you happy. I also want to use this opportunity to remember our Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa, who is being held today by the Finland government. Our Prime Minister has done nothing except the same thing our leader Nnamdi Kanu is doing. Our Prime Minister has presented to the world the heinous crime, the maltreatment, the human rights abuses of the Nigerian state, documented not just by Biafrans, but also by international peace and human rights organizations like the Amnesty International, the OEAS, the United Nations. This has been presented by our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, not only to the Finland authorities, but also to the ICC, to the European Union, and to most world leaders. Our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, has done nothing wrong. Because today, Biafra and Nigeria is at a secret war. Nigeria state is currently waging a secret war with United States of Biafra. They invade our territory with armored tanks. They kill our people. They burn down our businesses. They demolish our homes. They make our young men and women disappear. They held our young men, women in several prisons across Nigeria with no access to the legal authorities, to the lawyers that they need to be free. Nigerian state arrests innocent Biafrans, tie their eyes, push them from the police station, forcefully make them sign documents without presenting them in the law court. Move them over to the jail and the prisons. We have instances of an innocent Biafran from Ekpa State that was arrested by the Nigerian police, handed over to the Nigerian DSS. His eye tied, covered, and they made him sign a document without taking him to the court. The next thing, from the Nigerian police station, they dumped him to the Amobia cell where he is languishing today. This is just one instance. We have thousands of Biafrans scattered all over Nigeria in different jails across the country that have committed no crime except fighting for the freedom, for their self-determination in a country where the state rehabilitates, reintegrates non-terrorists like Boko Haram, like ISWAP, into the military and the police and give them AK-47. Ship them down to the southeast and south part of Nigeria to arrest, detain, throw to jail our young men and women without trial. That is what is going on today in that enclave called Nigeria and in the United States of Biafra. Our Prime Minister is still being interrogated by Finland since November 2024. It is 4 months now that Finland, in collusion with Nigeria, continue to detain, continue to interrogate our Prime Minister, the leader of the United States of Biafra, Simon Ekpa, for no cause. The Nigerian state has committed more atrocities, have committed more war crimes, have committed more terrorism, more laundering of funds in different aspects of the world. Nigerian leaders, they destroy the indigenes, they destroy the citizens. Through bribery and corruption, they launder thousands of dollars that belong to the indigenous citizens in several banks across the world. The Nigerian state, headed by President Tinubu, has not deemed it fit to accuse these politicians of being financing anything, being money launderers. But they are quick to label innocent Biafrans as terrorist financiers. 2 days ago, Nigerian President Tinubu, through the Attorney General of the Federation family, labeled almost 16 innocent Biafrans as terrorist financiers. And some of those innocent individuals are here with us. This is one of the ways that the Nigerian government, headed by President Tinubu, with the Defense Chief Christopher Musa, continue to terrorize, continue to intimidate, continue to subjugate, continue to destroy the economic powers of Biafrans across the globe. You label us terrorist financiers. All we do, we want to live in a nation. We want to have our own country, being able to make our own decision, the right to our self-determination, to choose who is going to lead us. Finland, you did the same. America did the same. Now, Nigerian President Tinubu labeled us terrorist financiers just because we refuse to support a regime that rehabilitates and reintegrates non-terrorists that are sent to our different locations to kill us. Just because we want to stand against the Nigerian terrorist state that collude with foreign partners, foreign nations to milk our natural resources, the oil in our land, the crude oil in our land, and continue to use that to finance and use that to resuscitate European countries, some countries abroad that are on the verge of collapse economically. Nigerian government signs agreement with them, and in exchange, they promise them they will either arrest or detain 1 or 2 or 3 or majority of the leaders of the Biafra, thinking that that will stop what we are doing. That is why our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, is still being held in Finland today for nothing. The crime committed by the Nigerian state, which many countries, including the US, have Label, if you have read the document, Nigeria, a failed state, 2030. It is one of those documents that have shown that Nigeria is a failed state. There is nothing anyone can do, both by the foreign leaders that think you can come to Biafra land, milk our oil, milk our resources, and then detain our leaders like Nnamdi Kanu, like our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, so that Nigeria state will continue to give you the oil. You are in for a big trouble. That will never happen. That's why United States of Biafra is a sovereign nation. You cannot come to our land, milk our resources, take our natural resources, while our citizens, while our indigenous citizens die of abject, basic needs. No standard medical facility in Biafra territory. No international airport in Biafra territory. No standard railway in Biafra territory. No standard transportation system in Biafra territory. I'm not going to talk about no pipe-borne water. No pipe-borne water in Biafra land. And this is a place, a geographical area where you, as an international country, think you want to continue to milk their resources while our people cannot drink. No pipe-borne water. As you have in your own country, where you can go to your sink, open your sink, and just collect pipe-borne water and drink it. There is none. 99 or 98% of homes you have in Biafra land, they get their water through boreholes. So when you build a home in Biafra land, you have to dig a borehole to supply your house, to supply your home with drinking water. Is that how it is done in the countries where you want to continue to milk our natural resources? No. Those are basic things lacking in our indigenous home in the United States of Biafra. And what our leader Nnamdi Kanu, what our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa is doing is to simply ensure those basic things. The countries that milk our natural resources, those basic things you provide to your people, our leader Nnamdi Kanu and our Prime Minister and a lot of our Nigerian leaders, our Biafran leaders, they want to provide the same services to our people. Your people go to the malls, you shop at the malls, you have toilets, you have water, you have basic amenities, you have electricity in your malls. Have you ever taken time to go to any mall in Biafra land and see the abject poverty, and see no toilet, and see no water, and see how we live? You should be ashamed of yourself if you are any international country that continues to milk the natural resources, that the oil that come from Biafra land, without taking cognizance of what we and our people go through. But we've said enough is enough. We cannot continue to tolerate that anymore. We are the people. We have conducted a self-referendum where over 50 million Biafrans voted to exit Nigeria. We met in Finland, and on November the 29th, 2024, Biafrans voted and marched to exit Nigeria. As we stand, we are a sovereign United States of Biafra. We are putting the necessary documents on the right tables for recognition. Again, you do not have to recognize us to be a free, independent nation. But we have to do that. We've met all the conditions that made us a nation. Biafra was a nation between 1967 and 1970, and nothing has changed because we've met all those criteria. We have a geographical area, we are building our allies, we have a culture, tradition that is respective, which is unique to our community, to our people. We have a geographical location in the southeast and south part of Nigeria. So we met all the criteria that made us a nation. That is what we are right now. We have written to our neighboring Nigerian state to remove all their military and police people in our land. We have sent out formal notifications for the peaceful resolution and peaceful exit of Nigeria from the Biafra state. We have publicized in formal Nigerian newspapers of the United States of Biafra as a sovereign nation. We've notified the Nigerian President Tinubu and their defense chief Christopher Musa to withdraw all their military and police uniforms, indigenous police security wearing Nigerian military and police uniform and security forces from the Biafran territory. We have a map which we have presented to the world and to the Nigerian state, the map of the United States of Biafra. We've demanded, we've requested for them to move out all their security forces from our land. Currently, the Nigerian state is occupying a foreign land in any space in the United States of Biafra. We ask you to leave. We've written to the different embassies, including the Netherlands embassy, the Finland embassy in Nigeria. We've written to the Nigerian president. Our foreign affairs department continue to notify these departments, the embassies, and these countries that as we speak today, the United States of Biafra is a sovereign nation, and we will protect our land from foreign invaders. Again, I want to let Biafrans know there might be distractions out there from different individuals that are trying to disrupt what we do, being paid by the Nigerian government to disrupt the full defense, the full recognition of the United States of Biafra. I want Biafrans to be mindful and to be aware of these distractors and ensure that you don't pay any attention to them. In every step of the Biafra restoration, the Nigerian state has always planted individuals into the struggle. They did it during Uwazulike's time. They did it during our leader Nnamdi Kanu's time by using the DOS. They did it in this time of our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa's time. They will not stop at doing it. But I want Biafrans to be resolute. Identify these individuals that are being paid by the Nigerian state through the Southeast and South delegitimized politicians to disrupt what we are doing, whether home or abroad. Know that they exist. It is your duty to identify them. I also want to use this opportunity to let Biafrans know that the United States of Biafra is funding almost all important activities in our homeland. We are funding the United States of Biafra combatant defenders. The United States of Biafra defense is decentralized because United States of Biafra is running a confederate state. We are running a confederate form of government. So I want everyone to know that the United States of Biafra, we run a confederate state. Confederating state where all the 40 states of Biafra have their own powers, independent, but also somehow dependent on the federal. We do not want to have a system whereby if crime is being committed in one state of the Biafra, they will get a permission from a central location before they okay. So again, we run a confederate state in Biafra, and part of that confederacy is to give power to the people, give power to the state. That is the way we are going to continue to run the United States of Biafra. Again, like I said, the United States of Biafra is funding our angels on ground based on our capability. The United States of Biafra will run a disciplined nation. That is why we are going to be one of the best in the world. We want that discipline to start from our nation in all areas, both in leadership, in the military, in the police. The United States of Biafra, we will not condone any act of indiscipline. That is why we will continue to maintain a leadership structure where in every department there is somebody running that department. When you see somebody under the command of somebody that comes out to make noise in the public, Biafrans, I encourage you to disregard such individuals. They must go through the leader of that department. That is the only time the government will respond. I also want to bring to our attention that the United States of Biafra have our Washington, D.C. office. That office has been concluded, a beautiful location in Connecticut Avenue. We will open our Washington, D.C. office on May 30th, 2025. 3 things we're going to be doing that day will include the opening of our headquarters in Washington, D.C., the remembrance of Biafra heroes and heroines, and also a peace summit of all Biafrans. A committee has been set up today to plan for that event. The ticket for that event will be out any moment from now. And the fee for that ticket is going to be $200 per individuals. Biafrans all over the world are encouraged to be in Washington, D.C. on May 30th, 2025. I also want to use this opportunity to let Biafrans know that the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra already set the structure of this government from beginning to end. Do not be swayed. Do not be carried away by lies. The structure of this government has been laid from beginning to end. I encourage all Biafrans to go and watch the instruction from our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, on the structure of this government immediately upon declaration. That video is out. And on that video, the Prime Minister has told us, immediately upon declaration of the United States of Biafra in Finland, the structure, the four-man committee that he appointed will deliver the structure that we are going to be running, which is what we are running now. Because those four-man committee, they did their job. They presented the structure when we were in Finland. That structure is what we are currently running. Nothing has changed. Anybody that tells you anything different are part of those paid to disrupt this. Please do not join them. Again, I want to bring briefly to the notice of the recent publication by the Nigerian state to include innocent Biafrans as terrorist financiers. I want to let the world and Biafrans know that these are innocent Biafrans doing nothing except what we're doing now. And the Nigerian President Tinubu has included their names as terrorist financiers, while Boko Haram, ISWAP, all the terrorists in Nigeria that ask for ransom, this ransom go through Nigerian banks. This money are paid through Nigerian banks. They are withdrawn. Even if they are not paid, they are withdrawn from Nigerian banks and paid to the terrorists to release people they kidnapped. The Nigerian President Tinubu has not listed those individuals that collected the money, and they have their VIN number, they have their phone number when they call innocent indigenous Nigerians to come and pay them ransom. The Nigerian government has the VIN number, the NIN number of all these terrorists that request for ransom when they kidnap Biafrans. And they've not listed those VIN numbers and NIN numbers, not VIN, NIN numbers. They've not listed them as terrorists. But they are very, very quick to list you and I, to list innocent Biafrans that are fighting for their freedom, to list them as terrorist financiers. That is the word the globalists go with, including Nigeria and Finland and others. They label us terrorists, innocent Biafrans. Some of them are here on this fundraising. Their names were listed by President Tinubu as terrorist financiers. Again, Biafrans, do not be deterred. You must be resolute. Do not be moved by this intimidation by President Tinubu and Christopher Musa. We will continue to do what we do until we all move home in the next 6 to 7 months to our homeland in Nigeria, Biafra lands. Sorry. Thank you so much, Biafrans. Again, we will continue to do what we do. And I want Biafrans to know that 100% of the security apparatus in the 40 states of Biafra land is under this command, is under the United States of Biafra. Do not be carried away with whatever anybody says. Do not be carried away with what anybody tells you. We have only one government, under one leadership, His Excellency Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, our leader Nnamdi Kanu, and my humble self. And do not entertain anything different from this. And like I always said, there are certain things we don't even entertain. There are certain things we don't want to discuss about, because you give them the oxygen they breathe. And we do not want to give that oxygen where you continue to go back and forth. There is no parallel government in the United States of Biafra. There is no parallel government in Biafra Republic government in exile. There is no parallel government in the de facto homeland. Everything has been well structured by the Prime Minister from beginning to end. The Prime Minister gave the order and instituted a committee to reshuffle the brigade, which is the one government that we have been running. The government, our Prime Minister gave that order and set up the four-man committee to restructure the Biafra Republic government in exile from day one of the declaration. That committee worked for about 2 months to set up the 22 secretaries and the 22 departments that the United States of Biafra have now. That committee put in all the appropriate individuals to head those committees based on the power given to them by the Prime Minister. So it is. Nothing moves, nothing shakes from there. So there is no parallel government. Anyone coming to have that discussion with you, do not entertain that. You're just going to waste your time. I want to quickly clarify one or two things. Again, the United States of Biafra, again, I heard some people said that I brought in some individuals that were fired by the our Prime Minister. Please do not believe those lies. Anybody working in this government is working based on their capability to handle this government. Those are saying that maybe information secretary was fired by a prime minister. That was not true. She was brought back by our prime minister. Somebody said somebody like Ezam Runobi. I heard that was suspended by the prime minister. Biafra, that is not true. The prime minister was visited Ezam Runobi and his group. Biafra is our religion. And maybe when I have the time, I will post that visit by our prime minister to this group, and you will see it by yourself. I also want to clarify certain things. Somebody was sacked to bring in Ezam Runubi. That is not true. Please do not believe some of these things out there. Again, not that I'm trying to address them. That is the least thing I want to do because we have so much work to do in the United States of Biafra. I also had a comment like I am in the 40 in the Telegram and what if I don't let me tell Biafrans, all the 40 state WhatsApp program, all the official WhatsApp platform for the 40 states of the United States of Biafra was opened by myself and the Prime Minister. All the 40 state official telegram that we are currently using was opened by myself and the Prime Minister. So nobody put me anywhere. I and the Prime Minister opened all those. And that is the wish of the Prime Minister. So when you hear anybody telling you that the COS put herself in all the 40 states or in the WhatsApp so that she can mute people or not, that is not true. I, with the Prime Minister, opened all the WhatsApp and all the Telegram. I also want to clarify about that I bought I bought the media. We have intelligent and very capable people in the whole media right now defending this restoration. I did not buy any media. I don't even know some of this. I know nobody in the media. These are genuine Biafrans coming out to do what they think is the best. These are intelligent, genuine Biafrans that are looking at things, analyzing things, and making their own comments. I have no Biafra media that I bought. The only media that I know today is the United States of Biafra media, nobody else. So anyone telling you that some people were brought to do something or bring down somebody, please do not believe those lies. Again, I also wanted to disprove when I hear somebody say that the COS recruited an individual called Sapele Ikengurago. I don't know these individuals. Ikengurago, all I remember, there was a time he was calling my name on the media that people should attack me, kill me anywhere they see me. These are individuals I don't even know. So for somebody to come out and just lie to Biafrans, say that I know somebody called Ikengurago, I brought them, Sapele, I don't know these individuals, Biafran, please do not believe these lies flying out there. Again, there is no fact when they say the DPM is saying do not attack Fulani. That is not factual, Biafrans. I keep telling the if I have an opportunity for any security briefing, I let them know that the Fulanese, the common Fulanese that in our land are not our problems. Our major problem are the people that bring them in. That doesn't mean that if we see them and they come to attack us, we will not attack them. The statement I made is this government, and that has always been the statement, we will face the people that bring Fulani terrorists into our territory. Our focus will be more to ensure that those individuals that brings these Fulanese into our land, they will stop doing that. When we address those individuals that give them cover, like the reintegrated terrorists wearing police and military uniform, when we address them, the Fulanese that they bring, they will run away from our land. And that is what is going to happen. I never said do not attack any Fulani. Any Fulani that comes in our land to attack us, we will defend ourselves. So that is all that I want to tell us Biafrans today. Before we close, again, I thank everyone, and I tell you to continue to do what you do. Do not be distracted. That will stop them from carrying out their agenda. They are already paid to do what they are doing. And in the midst of that group, I need Biafrans to remember, always know, it's not everybody in that group or in that clique is paid to disrupt this restoration. It is only 1 or 2 or 3 individuals in that clique is already paid to do what they do. So no matter the amount of peace you seek, it's just like when the DOS was fighting our leader, our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. Eventually, you will see the Nigerian state start romancing them. Eventually, you will see Nigerian state start publishing their articles. Ask yourself, how many times Nigerian newspapers used to refer to Chike, Doziem, and Co. Emapawa for them as the representative of the restoration, as the face of the restoration. They use them to disrupt and to destroy the activities of the main restoration, which our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa was fighting for. So again, I will let Biafrans know why you are talking about peace with your opponents, why you are looking for peace with people you think that you are all doing the struggle together. Always remember, the Nigerian state will never, ever, ever, and their politicians, they will never allow a successful Biafra. You must know they will use people who will be Biafrans to disrupt Biafrans. On that note, I say have a good night, everyone, and I'll see you next.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.